Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. There's a lot of news going on around our second stimulus payment. Business Insider reports that Trump is holding out on supporting the $908 billion stimulus bill, despite more lawmakers rallying around it. President Trump does not back the $908 billion stimulus bill, even though it's a compromise measure that is gaining momentum with GOP senators and leading Democrats. Officials said Trump backed the Republican proposal for a smaller stimulus package favored by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. And Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders also announced his opposition to the $908 billion stimulus relief package. Sanders said he would vote against the $908 billion relief framework that has attracted a flurry of interest from Democrats and Republicans since it was introduced earlier this week. And according to Fox News, Speaker Pelosi cited the new President-elect Joe Biden, as the reason for a shift to smaller support. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notifications bell. That way you will never miss all of the newest and most up-to-date, reliable stimulus check updates. And let's get this video to 5,000 likes if you think that Congress must pass more stimulus relief before the end of the year. My message to our American government is to pass the stimulus. Help the American people across the country. The good, hard-working American people have been through enough trouble. Congress must pass the stimulus. If you agree with my message, then leave a comment down below saying, I agree. Now, President-elect Joe Biden also had a news conference. Let's hear what he says about the current economy.
There's no time to lose. Millions of people have lost their jobs or had their hours slashed. They've lost their health insurance or in danger, can't keep their doors open. And there's a growing gap in Black and Latino unemployment, and the gap remains much too large. And it's deeply troubling that last month's drop in overall unemployment was driven by people who were dropping out of the job market, not because more people were being hired, meaning for 23 weeks or more. By far the largest increase on record. This is a dire jobs report. It's a snapshot, I might remind you, up to mid-November. Before the surge in COVID cases we predicted, many predicted, and the deaths rise that we've seen in December as we head into a very dark winter ahead. For example, since October, cities are down 21,000 educators, just as schools need more help. Good people, honorable people, decent, hard-working Americans from across the country. It reminded me of my dad, who lost his job in Scranton and eventually moved our family to Delaware, just outside of Wilmington, a place called Claymont. He used to say, you've heard me say it before, Joey, I don't expect the government to solve my problems, but I expect them at least to understand my problems.
Folks, tell me in the comments down below. Did you vote for Joe Biden in the 2020 election? And when he's in office, do you think that he'll pass a bigger stimulus bill? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Now for President Trump, Business Insider reports that he is not supporting the $908 billion stimulus bill that many Democrats and Republicans are pushing for. The White House clarified its stance on Thursday after a press conference where he voiced support for a stimulus plan without being totally clear on which one. Now, Trump's signature is needed to enact a bill into law, but the real power broker on the GOP side appears to be Mitch McConnell, who is leading the Republican negotiations. President Trump does not support the $908 billion compromise stimulus bill, even though Speaker Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer have shown support for it. The plan proposed by a group of lawmakers from both parties has also gained support from leading Democrats and some GOP senators like Mitt Romney. Trump on Thursday appeared to offer some hope for new stimulus, but his officials later poured cold water on the idea that he would accept the $908 billion plan. When asked at the press conference whether he supported this bill, Trump said, I will, and I think we're getting very close. That's according to the New York Times and the Washington Post. But Trump has largely stepped back from the stimulus negotiations since the election. McConnell on Wednesday also suggested that his bill was the only viable contender and argued that Trump would veto anything else. And $908 billion, the bipartisan bill, exceeds what McConnell has been willing to commit to, but it represents a massive compromise compared with Democratic demands for $2.2 trillion. According to Business Insider, the $908 billion stimulus package proposes support for small businesses, state and local governments, and schools, as well as funding for unemployment insurance, healthcare, and the distribution of the vaccine. McConnell's package is set to omit federal unemployment benefits, but has provisions for education funding, small business aid, and pandemic-related liability protection for businesses. Now, folks, what do you think President Trump is going to do? Is he going to pass more stimulus relief before he leaves office? Leave a comment down below saying yes or no. Now, before the election, Trump repeatedly called for a generous package, at times saying he'd seek to go bigger than what Democrats had asked for. And President-elect Joe Biden told CNN on Thursday that he backed the bill as a stopgap measure. He said that when he assumed the presidency, he would have to ask for more help. As for Bernie Sanders, the Washington Post reports that he also does not support this $908 billion stimulus bill. The bill was led by Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Mitt Romney of Utah, and Susan Collins of Maine. The legislative push aims to break months of gridlock in Congress, Sanders told reporters, given the enormous economic desperation facing working families in this country today. I will not be able to support the recently announced Manchin-Romney stimulus proposal unless it is significantly improved. Sanders added the absence of stimulus checks in the bill. Tens of millions of Americans living in desperation today would receive absolutely no financial help from this proposal. That is not acceptable. Sanders' opposition shows a tightrope negotiators are trying to walk as they seek to cobble together a bipartisan coalition with enough votes to pass the measure into law. The pressure against a deal comes as the bipartisan group work to turn a one-page outline of an agreement into a legislative text that can be signed into law. And according to Business Insider, pressure is mounting on Congress as cases spike across the country. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported on Friday that the pace of hiring had decreased for the 5th consecutive month in November, as 10 million Americans remain unemployed. Biden told reporters that any package passed in a lame duck session is not enough. It's just a start. Congress will need to act again in January, when President-elect Joe Biden is inaugurated into office on January 20th. Tell me, folks, do you think that he'll pass a bigger stimulus bill with more stimulus checks? Leave your comments down below. With that being said, folks, that's all the news in regards to your second stimulus check and unemployment benefits. If you found this video useful, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notifications bell. That way you'll never miss all of the newest and most up-to-date, reliable stimulus check updates. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and until next time, have a great day.
Meaning for 23 weeks or more. By far the largest increase on record. This is a dire jobs report. It's a snapshot, I might remind you, up to mid-November. Before the surge in COVID cases many predicted, and the deaths rise that we've seen in December as we head into a very dark winter ahead. For example, since October,